Welcome, friends, those just joining, and happy Wednesday, January 29th. We're just going through and celebrating the wins for January, cataloging all the breakthroughs, all the new people. And yes, Shelley says, grateful for snagging many lip glosses before they were out. That was a great one, wasn't it? I love when doTERRA just dials in and hits a home run. Awesome. Okay, yes. So, gratitude, wins and victories. Celebrating is such a contagious energy, and it really doesn't matter how big or small the celebrations are. The key is the energy. And we've spoken many times about how we create through our energy. Our energy is contagious. And so, especially in a network marketing model, it all begins with you. You are the CEO of your business, and you're where the energy starts. So lean into that spirit of celebration of what's gone well over the past month. Don't start focusing yet on what I want to create next month, but really bask in what went well in this past month. This is a powerful practice. Tiffany modeled it for us when we very first started coaching with her. I think we had just hit the rank of Blue Diamond, and she was like, what did you do to celebrate? And we're like, well, we talked about it at dinner with the kids, and she's like, no, sir, that is not going to do. And so she helped us take the attention that we had already moved on for next month and pull it back into real deep, meaningful celebration of where we had been. So that's my invitation to you today, to celebrate all that went well in January, to move that focus to the energy of success and wins. So, welcome. I heard from a couple people that maybe the text didn't go out. Can anybody verify yay or nay? Just put no in the comments. Okay, interesting. Okay, yeah, someone on Facebook just said, hey, didn't see the link in the text. That's how I usually get on. All right, well, I apologize. I don't know what's going on, but we will troubleshoot that, and we'll work on getting that, getting those texts coming back again. So thank you for your diligence. Hopefully you're able to find the link anyways. And I'm always curious how people use technology. Like, do they bookmark things? Do they use emails? So it's interesting because we do have lower numbers today, and that would make sense. Awesome. Well, I am here to serve you today. So go ahead and raise your hand if you've got questions, if you got blocks energetically that you want to talk through. I am here to serve you. So, and don't be shy. You can always come on with your camera off if it's a little early for camera on. I know Tiffany and I joke about 8:30 is pretty early in the morning to have lipstick on, as she says. So, but no expectation there. We most days I'm wearing stretchy pants or joggers down below, and lucky if I have a shirt on. So Karina asked, where has Tiffany been? She has shifted a lot of her priorities, and she's offered to come on once a month. So she's usually on the first Wednesday of each month. And then I've been doing the other calls. So that's where Tiffany has been. Okay, well, like I said, just raise your hand if you've got something you want to talk through or process. Um, here to serve you and wherever you'd like to go. In case any of you don't know where the link is or don't know how to get on, I mean, obviously this is the wrong group because you guys figured it out. So I'm preaching the choir here, but you can always go to sharesuccess.com/call if you ever need the link to hop on. So pretty handy little shortcut, as we call it. All right, Sherry has raised her hand.
Hello, can you hear
Hello,
me?
friend. Yes, how are you?
I'm so good, thank you. And I am not going to show how I look today at
No
8:30 in the
worries.
morning, but I'm super happy to jump on and say hi. Listen, I am so excited about your call last week, and I've been telling my whole team. And these changes, I had a little meeting with my account manager yesterday, and I just wanted to mention if anybody else, maybe they won't appreciate this if I say this out to everybody on the Goddard's team, but they were like so awesome, like, and so willing to help and even like strategize with us exactly like on your team what to do. But and I don't know if I'm not listening to all the way to the end of everything, but when does everything really start? Like after leadership, yes, slowly coming out. What do you know? What do you don't know, Andy? Because I'm just
Sure.
like so excited. I'm just like, okay, what? Yeah. So
Well, I
jazzed.
am so glad that you are excited too. Natalie and I are just giddy with excitement because it's felt like for so long, it's been so hard. We call it the death valley in the comp plan, where through the early ranks, the pay is just not fantastic, you know. And at the founder retreat, they showed a slide where they averaged the earnings of an average builder in their first year. And I think the earnings like topped out around like $400. Like they never broke, or actually, I think it was around 300. I should look for that slide next. But the point is the new comp plan shifts all that. It makes it so much more accessible to get to the $500 a month and then onto the $1,000 a month. It's really powerful, and I'm so excited. I'm so glad you are too. So let me share a slide that shows the timeline. And this is what was shared at the Blue Prez Summit. And so they've started educating Blue and presidential leaders, and they're getting ready for a leadership announcement. And so February is when they'll be kind of pulling back the curtains and training everyone. But in terms of when things actually roll out, this graph shows April is when parts of it will start to be rolled out. But I want to be realistic. I always like to under promise and over deliver. So if I were you, I wouldn't plan on anything until maybe late May or early June, just because there's so much IT that has to happen for these things to be solid and in place. The last thing we want is for us to push out these changes too soon and then to have a glitch in the back office. That would be disastrous. So they're saying that parts will roll out in April, but like I said, I would plan on June-ish. So that's what I would say.
Okay,
Um,
I love that. And so I just wanted to mention something that my account manager said. And again, they may not really appreciate me telling everybody on the Goddard's team this, but like as a leader, my gifts are what they are. I'm super friendly. I love doTERRA. I tell everybody about it. But like getting that out to my team can be tricky, especially when it's all these details. And my account manager actually said she'd be happy to jump on some Zoom calls with me, like even with different teams that are specifically nice big teams that really could use this information. Because like you're saying, Andy, like to, young leaders just starting out, that's great.
Yeah,
It's the people who've been hanging in there for years who'd be willing to begin again, right? This is going to
sure.
be so great. But all the little details, like explaining all the intricacies of the boost
Right.
and all the stuff, all you were mentioning, like the new graphics that are going to be, or the new whatever that is going to be in the back office. When people, I gotta be honest, most of the way through your presentation, my eyes kind of glazed over and I started hearing wah, 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 wah. And I love it. And I love you, Andy. You guys are so amazing. But it's hard. It's hard to really listen to all the stuff. And so I
There's a
just really
lot.
appreciated them
Absolutely.
saying,
Yeah, there is a lot. And, Natalie and I have been a lot of those meetings where we've been strategizing with corporate and planning and trying to figure out the best changes to make. And so our heads, I get it. It takes a while. It takes a minute, especially when, you know, we've been playing by one framework, and even the smallest change, it's a change. And so it takes a minute, and I get that. So now, just to be clear, Sherry has hit diamond, and so she has an account manager, and that account manager has been very gracious. I know all the account managers that I've ever talked to are extremely gracious and wonderful, but corporate wants us to be clear that they're not ready for every rank to just start calling up corporate and saying, I want to talk to an account manager. We're just not there yet. So please, let's if you have a diamond up line and they're already doing, like, they're already planning some kind of call, great. But if we can all just kind of hold off till leadership, then corporate can make sure all of the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, so that they can have all the tools in place to really start training in mass. So I do have that Zoom call from last week, but yeah, just let's be a little patient with corporate, because they literally are getting swamped right now by the number of people reaching out saying, "Can I have a one-on-one? Can you talk to me and my business builder on my front line?" Like, there's not the bandwidth to do that. So so
am I
in terms
still
of,
on?
yes, you're on.
Okay. Yeah, she did specify after leadership. And um but so has everybody seen that clip? Because you did a fantastic job. But there's also the video with Justin Harrison and three of the other. That would be amazing if everyone hasn't already seen that. Ruth Calabro posted that in our little leadership group the other day, and it's under an hour and very specific and so helpful in the details and language people like me can understand. So you don't really need the tutorial from an account manager at doTERRA. You just need to push on that button. And yeah, I'm sorry, it was after leadership. She's there, they are willing. And my point is how good doTERRA is. They are so good to us at providing all the things. That was my point. Not, yeah, you guys don't call doTERRA today about like,
Yeah, just we're so close. We're so close, guys. Leadership is right around the corner, and then it's go time. Um, so I'm trying to find that link. I posted it last week, but for Justin's webinar, does somebody have that handy? I know it's a YouTube link to their podcast. Um,
if Ruth's on, I know she could do it, and I'll look for it, but I'm not the best at posting that. But someone's comment was really good about talking about the boost, Andy, and I don't know if
sure.
anyway, that's
Yeah,
probably one of the more obscure things that is like exactly what does that the boost mean?
perfect. Okay. Let me find that PowerPoint, and then I can show you what Sherry's talking about. Oh, and before we switch to that, I found the slide that shows the average earnings in the first year of early active builders. So they took all the builders who were active in their first year, and they averaged their earnings, and this is what they earned. So you can see it tops out like right around 300, just under 300. And so that's not very easy to stick with it and stay in the game at those kind of earnings. If you're not making at least 500 bucks by the end of your first year, it's hard to justify sticking around. So corporate heard us, and I think they came up with the best solution possible. So, okay, and someone looks like 2 people have posted that link. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me find the slide that talks about the boost. And I will back up a little bit just to make sure that we cover the 2 aspects of Power of 3. So there's the base and there's the boost. And so the base is shifting. In the past, it was based on if you and your front line add up to 600 PV with 3 qualifying orders of 100, okay? That is shifting. So now you need to have 100 PV to qualify and get paid, but the qualifications are based on if you have 500 in LRP on your physical front line. So that's a subtle but important difference. And every other level is based on that pod. We call it a Power of 3 pod. And so that earns you your 50. And then if you create 3 pods under that, then you earn your 250. And so this language here, help 3 people on your front line earn their 50. Technically, that's not true. And so I like to reiterate, that's a nice way to teach it, but that's not technically accurate. So the way you earn your 250 is these people have 500 and you have 3 pods under them with 500. So it's a little different, but it's huge. It's so awesome. And then the third level is now 1250 instead of 500 or 1500. And same principle, you're just getting 3 pods under each of those 3 pods. So that's the base, all right? So we've talked about the base. Now, what is the boost? The boost is how you can earn extra money to earn even more than we were before. So before, 1500 was the top level. Now you can earn more than that. So let's talk about a new metric that they're using to, and I should go full screen. Sorry, I didn't think of that. To get the third level, or sorry, to get the boost, you can earn more. So let's go through about what this new metric is and how you get there. The metric is personal growth volume. So what they're looking at is let's take all of the people that you have enrollership on and let's add up their volume from their first year. So we're looking at new enrollments that you've had over the past 12 months, and we're adding up their volume. So let's just take a look at, these are all these people here, Anna, Scott, Ryan, Lily, Jane. Those are all personal enrollments to the person we're looking at. Anna was more than 12 months ago, so she does not count. But the other 4 do count, and so we look at what their November orders are. So we're running commissions, let's say, for Power of 3 in the month of November, and it's saying, okay, all of those people did an order, and that their orders, their LRP orders, added up to 425. So again, this is a new metric. It's based on rewards volume, not enrollment volume. And it's taking a look at all the members who enrolled in the last 12 months. So we call this the personal growth volume, or PGV. So that is how we track PGV to determine how much of a boost you get. So here are just some more examples of 12 new people that you enrolled and what their volume adds up to. in different months. So, that PGV number will change every month. And in the new back office, it will be really clear what your PGV is. It'll be a big, prominent metric. So here's how you can double your base Power of 3 payout. So here's how it works. If you have earned your base level of 50 and you have a PGV of 400 or more, then you get a boost of $50. So now you've earned $100 on your base level of Power of 3. If you earn your 250 and you get a PGV of 800 or more, then you double the 250, and now you've earned 500. If you do, and now if you do level 3, you can earn any of those, 50, 250, or 500, depending on your PGV. So this chart is great because it captures how you can earn different boosts based on your volume. So level 1 can earn the 50. If you have qualified for your level 2 base, then you can qualify for the 50 with 400 PGV or 250 with 800 or more PGV. Level 3 could earn any of those 3 levels of boost based on their PGV, 50, 250, or 500, if their PGV is 400, 800, or 1200. And so that sums your earning potential as 100, 500, or 1750. So as we all know, in the past, the way you maxed out Power 3 was 50, 250, and 1500. And now you can earn more than that just with Power 3 alone. This doesn't count your fast starts, your unilevel, any of those other bonuses. This is just Power 3. So that is the boost. And with that, it's possible to help people get to that $500 a month in earnings much quicker and much more easily. So I think we've covered the boost. So yeah, that's the boost. So let's see what questions. Now the boost is going to vary from market to market. I assume that most people on this call are in the US. But this boost for now that I've just shown you applies to the North America market. And it's just going to have to depend, some markets won't have a boost. Some will, but it'll be a different amount. I know Europe has like a slightly decreased boost. So yeah, but I think most of you here are probably US accounts. I did see the one from Switzerland earlier, so okay. All right. I'm seeing a question here. Does the boost 400 personally enrolled need to be on LRP purchases? Yes. Yeah, so the PGV is only measuring rewards orders. So yes, this is a new metric that's measuring loyalty rewards orders. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Sherry, and thank you for sharing your energy and enthusiasm. We always love to hear from you. Sherry has been a dear, dear friend and amazing leader, and we have been blessed by Sherry for, gosh, is it 20 years now? I think we've known you at least 22 years, so grateful for you, Julie. Sherry. There's a comment from Julie. Does PGV only include new enrollments, or does old customers who start a loyalty reward order count also? Okay, we're getting into technical questions that I don't know. I'm guessing they're only going to count new enrollments, but I can't say that for sure. Okay, we had one other question about comp plan, and then we'll get to some of the other questions. So Mara says, what are your new comp plan insights, strategy, planning, etc.? Okay. So we've been having lots of masterminds with our frontline, with our Blue and Prez, with just, key partners. And during one of those masterminds, it hit us like a ton of bricks that unless you're a lot smarter than I am, which you probably are, we've really been selling the airline instead of the destination. So what do I mean by that? Let me back up. So if you want to sell more airline tickets, then you can do it one of two ways. You can talk about how great, let's say Delta is, and what a reliable flight schedule they have, and how trained their pilots are, and how they're state-of-the-art, airplanes, whatever. That's selling the airline. Or you can sell the destination. And so you can show, beautiful pictures of the beaches in Hawaii or the quaint streets of France. And the basic tenet of marketing is selling the destination always works better. People aren't sitting at home wondering, what the mechanical record is of Boeing 747s. They're most likely thinking, it's freezing cold where I am. I'd like to go somewhere warm. Or my partner and I would like some adventure. And so maybe let's get away and go somewhere cool. Or maybe just go visit some loved ones, right? Whatever the the purpose is, selling the destination has always worked better. So how does that apply to the comp plan? We have spent most of the last 16 years telling people, hey, come build doTERRA with us. Maybe you can get to elite, or maybe you can get to silver. And the sad truth is the payout at elite is not amazing. I mean, you might get some nice fast starts in the early days, but elite is not a meaningful income for most people. Even silver, again, is not life-changing for most people. Now it is for a lot, and that's great. But what we realized in one of these brainstorms, and it was Seth Rizame who had the epiphany, was what if instead of selling the destination of elite or premier or silver, what if we sold the destination of how much you'll actually earn? So what if we start a $500 club, or we start a 1,000 club, and maybe we don't say dollar, we just say, who wants to join the 500 club? Who wants to join the 1,000 club? And that's a destination that actually has meaning that someone can translate into actual impact, how it's going to move the needle in their lives. And so that's the plan that we're going to be rolling out. Is we're going to sell the destination of specific income levels. And so you might have 3 clubs. You might have a 500 club, a 1,000 club, and then maybe a 5,000 club. And then people can graduate from club to club. But that's the marketing that we're going to use. That's the languaging we're going to use. Natalie and I are talking about making some cool print pieces, some PowerPoints, because that will move people to action. That if people are focused on that will move them much more than I don't know anybody who has elite on their vision board. I want to be an elite in doTERRA. I want to be a premier in doTERRA, because that just doesn't mean anything. It's verbiage that's meaningful for the upline, but not for the person themselves. And so I'm really excited to move the mindset towards what's in it for them. That's what most people are asking anyways. What's in this for me? And if we can make that the focus, then it's just going to grease all the wheels. It's going to make everything go so much more smoothly. So that is the high level insight and breakthrough that we've had. we get to do a lot better job of selling the destination and not the airline. Okay. Looks like we had a couple more questions. Does PGV only include new enrollments? Oh yeah, we already talked about that one. Okay. Let's go back to some of the other questions that I saw. How would you recommend using the new Power Me with current customers? Kathy asks. So Power Me is a really cool app that doTERRA has built that has come such a long ways. It's incredible. If you haven't checked it out, please go take the time. Um, we, yeah, I wish I had a demo here to show you because it's really great. Um, and it's especially good for people who love biometrics. And so if, and what we found is a lot of people that are in my camp of innovators and early adopters, we don't need that kind of stuff. We're just, give me the vision, paint a picture, and I'm in. But a lot of the early majority and late majority, they love statistics and they need a test to prove that something works and it is working on them. And so Power Me gives you the ability to take lots of different tests. And, there could be a glucose test. There could be, your blood labs. There could be, a lot of heart tests. And you plug that data into the Power Me app, and then it will give specific product recommendations for doTERRA products. It will also guide people on, and use the upline. It will allow you to specify certain product recommendations and just guide people on their customer journey and on their health journey. So that's pretty exciting and so grateful doTERRA has the vision. So the way I would use it is try to get to know your customers. If they love data and they love tests and proof, then I would steer them towards Power Me. If those things don't matter to them, then I wouldn't necessarily use Power Me. It's really targeted at the data-driven audience. Okay. I saw a question about what are the key things you look for in a potential business partner? What are the most effective ways to identify and mentor potential leaders? Okay, looks like this is Loran. So potential business partners, this is something that we've learned so much about this question, and I could go on for hours, but if I were to simplify it to two things, it's are they hungry and do they have influence? Those are the two metrics that matter most. So hungry, what do I mean by that? To be hungry means they're driven. To be hungry means they're motivated. To be hungry means there's enough of a need that they're going to take massive action. So hunger can look lots of different ways. It could be financial hunger. It could be they're hungry for something meaningful in their lives. It could be that they're hungry for influence, like hungry for a stage, like they really want to be able to, share their knowledge and information. Lori Jacobs is a great example of someone who she already had a lot of things, but what she's gained in doTERRA is a huge audience and a playground where she can shine in her strengths and be her brilliance. So that's hunger. Influence is the next one. And what do I mean by influence? I'm not talking about followers on social media. That can be a metric, but most importantly, do people move when they ask them to? So some simple ways to measure influence is, can they fill a room? If you host a class and they're on board with the class can actually get people to the class. Another metric is, when we're asking someone to build doTERRA with us and to be a significant builder, we're basically asking them to change their jobs. And so if you're a person of influence, you actually can ask people to change their jobs, and they do it. So those are the two metrics that matter most with front level builders. Now, if we're talking about sharers, that's a different bar, and it's obviously not as rigorous to I guess screen or qualify sharers. But those are the things we look for, is hunger and influence. The second question, what are the most effective ways to identify them? Just talking to them, just getting to know them, being patient with the process of relationship building. There's nothing fast about it that I know of, but getting curious, about, tell me about your dreams, tell me about your hopes, tell me about your current life and how you're moving towards your goals. What gets you excited? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What keeps you up late at night? Speaking to vision is always the thing that Natalie and I have done. And then the next question is mentoring. How do we mentor potential builders? We use the Empowered Success System. And so it has in it every tool that you need. So there's the business building guide, has all the tools that you need. Also in the Empowered Success System is the One Thing mentoring form. That's one we use less frequently, but like the success check-in is probably the most frequent one. And so that's just a chance for a builder to return a report to say, this is how many classes I taught, this is how many people I invited, this is how many enrollments I've had. So those are the tools we use. They work amazingly well. So there's no need to reinvent that wheel. Okay. Yes, the app is called Power Me. Gail says, how is the 90-day restart going? And where can we find info to share? Okay. And Amy posted the link to the Power Me app. It's powerme.health for those who don't have access to the chat. Okay, let's see if I can pull up the resources in the DMK. So if you go to, and I'll just share my screen so that you can watch the journey. So if you go to Google, or no, sorry, if you go to doTERRA.com/DMK, then you'll see an absolute gold mine of resources, okay? So if you have, this is PowerPoints, invites, graphics, all the things. And how did I just lose my, there it is. That's weird. Okay, so if you're looking for 90-day restart, I would just do a search for 90-day, and let's see what we come up with. So we've got a PowerPoint by Melody Watts. We've got a PowerPoint about the E-Omegas. We've got the Cleanse and Restore. And then I thought there was more assets around the 90-day reset. Okay, I think it's called the Foundational Wellness Reset, isn't it? So from all the indicators that I've seen, it's going really, really well. And people are loving this new kit, and they're loving the, oh, look at that. Look at all these hype videos. You guys know how good we have it? My goodness, look at all these videos. Incredible what doTERRA is doing to make our lives simpler. So yeah, there's incredible resources here. I know that Laura Jacobs also has some resources in EnrollPro that you can use. And so that's enroll.pro is where you can find Laura's resources. But yeah, everyone I know who's doing the 90-day foundational wellness is just having incredible results. Okay, I'm seeing that the text finally came through. I apologize for the delay. At least we didn't send out the text after the call was over. So that's great. Okay. All right, any other questions? Go ahead and raise your hand if you'd like to come on live. And the YouTube link is there. If you're watching this on replay and you're looking for the podcast with Justin Harrison and Sarah Marie and Isaac Wilson and Michael Sterling, you can just do a YouTube search for the doTERRA Compensation Plan Elevated. So that's for those watching replay who don't have access to this link. Okay, great. Any other questions today? Loran. If you want to go ahead and accept the invitation to come on as a panelist, we'll bring you on.
Good evening. Oh, good evening for me and good morning for you.
Welcome. How are you doing?
Good, and you? Thank you.
And you're calling from Switzerland?
Yes.
Awesome. Which part?
Freiburg, between Geneva Lake and Bern. It's in the French-speaking region here.
Ah, c'est bien ça.
Oh, you speak French, so.
Yep, I spent 2 years in France.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much for answering the previous question. I've got another one, and I mean, maybe it will depend on different people, but from your experience, what type of event or presentation have been most effective for growing your business? Because I listened to the podcast of Matt Hall just earlier today, and I'm hearing some people are really focused on business developing, some others are really product focused. So what's your experience about it?
So I love this question, first of all, and thank you so much for coming on live and asking. What kind of events move the needle? What kind of events actually grow the business and support growth? So as is the answer to most questions, it depends. It depends on who you're speaking to and where they are in their developmental journey. So Matt Hall is now a double diamond, and his approach has from the beginning been very much focused on the business opportunity. He's an incredible, brilliant strategist, and he's extremely good at sharing the vision for the business, enrolling people into the vision of the business, and then mentoring people to success. The lion's share of our company is customers, and so I would warn people who are thinking, oh, I need to focus more on the business, because Matt Hall does it, and he's wildly successful. So I'm just going to shift my focus to the business. The fact is, every company historically who has done that has, over the long term, failed. They've seen massive decline. The lifeblood of any company is a legitimate value proposition with the product. So if we, as a company, move away from that, and that's my biggest concern with the compensation plan, is that we shift too much focus to the business, because the moment we abandon the hero of the company, which is our product, that's when our decline begins. So that's why it depends. If we So we need to always be doing product trainings. We need to always be advocating for the incredible healing power of the essential oils, the supportive supplementation, and the whole VMG line. It's just so crucial that we keep the hero the hero. So I would say a healthy, striving team has lots of events of both types, product trainings and business trainings. The other thing that I'm reminded is that events still work. So many of us got really beat up during COVID and kind of stepped away from live events and quite frankly, even convention has been very poorly attended since COVID. And so if we surrender to the convenience of Zoom, then we do ourselves a huge disservice. That the power of events will never go away. Humans were meant to connect. We are social beings, and there is power that can only come from live events. So I just want to get on the pulpit and preach a little bit about the power of events. So yeah, I would say there's not one type of event that trumps all others. I think it's crucial that we just keep gathering and we keep offering both types of events. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you. And for that kind of events for the clients, the customers, what's your approach? How do you approach product education in a way that will lead to long-term customers? Do you have a system or something to recommend?
Sure. So we have tried lots of different things. We've tried continuing education series, where we do deep dives on specific topics. So one might be anti-aging. One might be hormones and hormone health. One might be men's health. So those are all great and great ideas for just building, enthusiasm and energy and team excitement. But honestly, the single most important event to get people to convert to the loyalty rewards program is a one-on-one wellness consult. There's never been anything like it, and I don't think there ever will be. And it might seem silly to call it an event, but it is. Two people coming together and just being able to spend that focused time on them and their health needs, and then to make an actual plan based on what their needs are. I can't even imagine a better way to transfer that energy, transfer the vision, and help them troubleshoot. Because as we all know, oils are not one size fits all. A lot of times it takes a couple different tries to find the oil that meets their needs. I love the quote that we're as different on the inside. Our bodies are as different on the inside as they are on the outside. And so it takes some persistence and some resilience to stick with it. And you're going to struggle to create that sense in a group setting, a large group meeting. So yeah, the one-on-ones, you can call them whatever you want. Some people call them a lifestyle overview. Some people call them a wellness consult. But the main message is I want you to get the most value out of the products that you've ordered. And so that's why I do this with every customer. Don't make it an option. Just say, I do this with all of my customers. And this is the best way to help you maximize your membership. I'm also going to show you how to buy products below wholesale through our really cool loyalty program. And then we're also going to set you up to make sure that you're maximizing those benefits. And so I don't know if they probably don't in Switzerland yet, but in the US, they allow us to plan out multiple loyalty rewards orders. So that'll be coming in other markets soon. But that's one of the really crucial things to do is in that wellness consult, don't just map it out, actually put it in the cart. Show them how easy it is to add and remove and manage their new lifestyle. Because that's what we really want to teach is a lifestyle.
Yeah, thank you very much for your precious insights.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on, Loran.
Thank you.
All best to you in Switzerland and beyond. I hope to see you at the European Convention.
Yeah, hope to see you too. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, see you. Amy, it looks like you came on.
Sorry, don't mind that I'm in my swimsuit. Rich and I are on a little getaway for a night, but we were joining in, and I just thought I would add to her question and answer there. And we have shared the resource with you, but I can share it here in the chat as well. But something that's worked really well for our team, and I feel like we have a lot of healthy enrollments, but also business growth. We really are seeing both happen is in our basic class, that's the foundational wellness, where that's our main focus, right, are the supplements. And then we teach them more about the oils later. We do introduce the oils a little bit because it's such an easy gateway for people. But one of our leaders had the great idea of adding just a few slides at the end to talk about the business. And it just takes about 10 or 15 minutes. But it's made a huge difference just having every person who's learning about the products also learn about the business at the class. So we've had to shorten the class, which is why we don't talk about as many of the oils. But that's why we've done it, so that we can make sure that you're getting both of those pieces. Because like Andy said, you have to have both. Like if you just have one, it's super unhealthy. And if you just have the other, it's super unhealthy. And so so I'll share a link in the chat as well of the presentation that our team has been using very successfully. And I also was talking with Danny. What's Danny's last name? Presidential Diamond.
Danny Smith.
Okay, so their team has been using that same slideshow. We've shared it with a lot of people, and it's been really effective, and it has both pieces to it. So I'll share that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amy. For those of you who don't know Amy, she is an incredible business leader. She's one of our frontline partners, and she has built to Blue Diamond, Founder 2.0, and she started right as COVID started. So she's also got a huge successful team with, I think, 13 Founders 2.0 on her team, other Blue Diamonds and Diamonds, and all the other ranks. So she's a voice worth listening to. Awesome. I'll see if I can, once that link is shared, I'll see if we can share that, make a shorter link for those watching on replay. Okay, there's one last question on Facebook. Vicky says, I'd love to know what tools you use to shift your mindset when a biz call or meeting doesn't go the way you envision. Okay, so there are so many great tools. All right. So I'm going to start with some really, really basic tools and then work into some more advanced tools. So let's say I'm meeting with somebody, this really great business prospect, and I was hoping that they would, say yes to building but instead it's a hard no. So in that moment, I can choose to be really, really depressed, really sad, look for what's wrong with me. What did I do wrong? How am I not enough? And really start to spiral with some of the beliefs that come out of that. But there's a simple mantra that Nev and I have been using for lots of years. And that simple belief is, I am perfectly supported. So, and you need to repeat that mantra throughout your day, throughout your life, often enough that it will come to you in moments like this when you need it. So if you're in that moment and you remember, and the cool thing about your body is it speaks to you. Your body is giving you information constantly. And so whenever there are negative beliefs or negative thoughts, they're often accompanied by stress. And so anytime I have a stressful thought or a stressful feeling, that's an invitation to me to take a deeper look at what I'm believing. So if I'm believing that I'm a bad leader, or that I did something wrong, or that I am wrong, right? This is the definition of shame, is not that we did something wrong, but that I am wrong. Then that's a perfect invitation to take a look at that and say, what's true here? Can I, once you identify the core belief, you can go into inquiry. And if you're in the middle of a business meeting, you might not have time to do a lot of introspection. And so in the moment, I would just repeat to myself, I'm perfectly supported. I'm perfectly supported. And then once your energy is a little more neutral, you could start to ask yourself, in what ways am I perfectly supported? And so that might give you the presence of mind to ask something like, so it sounds like this might not be the right opportunity for you now, but who do you know who is struggling and could use this opportunity right now? I'm looking to mentor just a handful of people, and I'm going to run as hard and fast as they do. And so who do you know who is motivated, who's hungry, who's influential? Because I'm looking to mentor them and create some magical results over the next 6, 12, 18 months. So it could be that getting a referral from that meeting is actually the highest and best outcome. So that's the first tool, is just a mantra, something like, I'm perfectly supported. The second tool is it's called The Work, and it was developed by Byron Katie. And you can go to thework.com to find out more. She's written a book called Loving What Is, and I highly recommend it to anyone and everyone. And she takes people through a process. And anytime they have a stressful thought, she asks the simple question, is it true? So is it true? So in this moment, the builder said no. You're thinking, I'm not worthy of finding a good builder. Is it true? If the answer is yes, you go on to question 2, which is, can I absolutely know that that's true? And get honest with yourself. And then the third question is, when I'm believing that thought, I'm not good enough to bring on a big builder, how do I react? How do I show up when I'm believing the thought, I'm not good enough to attract big builders? The fourth question is, who would I be without that thought? So once we get really clear on what are the ways that I show up when I'm believing that thought, and then who would I be without that thought, we start to create a wedge. We start to separate ourselves from our thoughts. And that's what makes us different from any other creature on the planet, is that ability to think, the ability to choose different thoughts, to think about our thinking. They call it metacognition. And that's the space of magic right there. And so she then has a couple of questions that we can use to turn the thought around. So the first way is to find the inverse, right? So if the belief was, I'm not worthy to find a big builder, the inverse is, I am worthy to find a big builder. And so once you figure out what the inverse is, then you look for 3 evidences of how that's true. Why is that true? Give yourself 3 pieces of evidence of how that's true. The other way, if you have a limiting belief about somebody else, you know, my husband doesn't listen to me, then the way to inverse that, you could say my husband does listen to me, but the other way to inverse a belief is to turn it on yourself. So instead of my husband doesn't listen to me, I don't listen to me. And that's really a profound breakthrough if you can be present to it. And so find 3 evidences of how that's true. In what ways do I not listen to me? So that's a really quick high-level overview of the work by Byron Katie. And so I highly encourage you to go check that out and spend some time in her work. She also has an audiobook called Loving What Is, and it's well worth the read. Okay, I think Rhea has a question. If you want to come on as a panelist, you can ask that question. I'm just going to check Facebook for any more questions. Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. I don't see. Doesn't look like she came on. Joel, I see your hand raised. So if you'd like to come on as a panelist.
There we go. Hey, Andy.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Great, thanks.
Good. Hey, I had a couple questions for you.
Great.
Nice snow, by the way. We're not experiencing any of that. Actually, we got flurries here in Orlando last week.
Oh, wow.
It was too cold, not fun. But anyway,
Crazy.
I'm glad you guys, you keep the white stuff up there. We're fine without it. But hey, so I got a question for you. We have a builder who has been running into a lot of people from Young Living, and I know that Crystal had been on a call with Natalie a while ago, and Natalie had been saying how she had been sharing some of the differences between Young Living and our just business model, being able to help people understand, hey, this is a much more attractive, people that are already, sold on oils and understand the importance of oils, but are like, oh no, I've always been with Young Living, or I like Young Living and I build with Young Living. Do you have resources that we could help send our builders way to help? Because quite frankly, I've looked at it a little bit to see the differences between the two, like as far as their compensation and such, but I was just wondering if you have any resources like that.
That's a great question, Joel. I was just looking in the library to see. I know that Corey Lindley did a PowerPoint comparing the some leading compensation plans out there, but I don't think Young Living was in that comparison PowerPoint. If you are interested in downloading that PowerPoint, you can go to sharesuccess.com/library.
Okay.
And then go down under business PowerPoints.
Okay.
And it's just called Comp Plan Trumps by Corey Lindley. So the only thing I know about Young Living's compensation plan is in order to hit a lot of the upper ranks, like Crown Diamond, Blue Diamond, they have really, really high volume requirements.
Yeah.
And so you have to have structure, but then you also have to have massive volume. And it's like
Yeah.
6 or 10 times what's required in doTERRA. And
Okay.
so it really makes those upper levels of income almost unattainable.
Okay.
There are very, very few people who actually hit and sustain those levels in Young Living.
Okay.
I don't have any resources per se,
Okay.
but the main thing I encourage people to do is just to Google Gary Young, because I don't want
Okay.
to. I don't want to be the one that I don't want to get my hands dirty
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sharing any information. But like just go to quackwatch.com and Google and search up his name,
Okay.
and they'll see everything they need to know if they're curious. The fact is, data is not usually what moves people. It's emotion.
Yeah.
And so when I'm talking to a Young Living person, I love to tell them, listen, for a lot of years, Young Living was the best oils out there, and our family used them because it's true. Before doTERRA was around, Young Living was the best out there. And so
Yeah.
that is what we had. In fact, we had like $1,200 in Young Living oils before doTERRA came around. So I always share that. And I talk about how grateful I am for them and for the role that Gary Young played, because he really was a true pioneer. He made such an impact on oils here in the West. So I would just be edifying, and don't get me be in the business of slinging mud.
No. And that's, yeah, I was really trying to just understand if there was a way to help her attract other builders that are like already building, that are like, I'm not sure that, if they're having second thoughts or wanting to build a
Sure.
different place, but okay, that's great. And I forgot my second question, but it was a good one, but I'll have to wait for another day.
No worries. Well, we're always here.
Okay.
So, by the way, Amy sent me the link to her presentation that she's been doing on foundational wellness. So I've posted that in the chat, and I've also posted on Facebook. For those of you who are watching this on replay, I'm going to add that link to the page sharesuccess.com/leadership. So it will be down towards the bottom under the videos. So if you're watching this on replay, sharesuccess.com/leadership. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, Joel.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate. Oh, I remembered.
Okay, great.
Oh, yeah. The men's class that you have, is it the first Monday? Is that
Yes,
the men's group?
it is. Yep,
First Monday of the month, is that right? Oh,
that's right.
all right, cool. And what time is it one more time?
It's going to be at 1 p.m.
I thought it was like
Mountain
3
Standard
o'clock or
Time.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, 3
3
p.m.
o'clock
Eastern
Martin.
Time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
So
All
for
right.
those of you who don't know about the men's call, Walter Watts is the one who organized this. And it's just a bunch of guys come together to talk about what is, how we build doTERRA as men. And so if you come to sharesuccess.com/men, then here's a link to get registered to watch the Zoom call. And here's the link to our Facebook group. So thank you for that reminder. I should be promoting that more often, but yeah, we love to gather. So
I'm your friendly plant today, then. You're welcome.
awesome.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Andy. Appreciate you.
Thanks again, Joel. We'll catch you
Yep,
next time.
thank you.
All righty. Well, we are over our time, but thank you so much. Gail, that link to Amy's presentation, the active link is up in the chat. I said I'm going to add it to sharesuccess.com/leadership. So I'll do that right now. but use the docs, the Google Docs link from earlier. Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining. Have a blessed week, and we'll see you next month.